I am Julian, a soul who has traversed the complex waltz of existence's highs and lows. To the casual observer, I appear to be nothing more than a devoted husband, a father tending to a seemingly flawless family, and a man whose professional life reflects a sense of accomplishment. Yet, beneath this tranquil exterior lies a secret, a piece of my past that I have strived to keep hidden. Still, it remains in my thoughts, a captivating phantom that will not fade away. For years, I clung to the belief that time would heal all wounds, and that the burden of adult responsibilities would mask the pain within. Nevertheless, the truth remains that memories endure, steadfastly resisting the pull of oblivion. They resemble a hidden stream, softly gurgling just below the surface, waiting for the ideal moment to burst forth and engulf everything in its embrace. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, enabling me to craft more enthralling true stories that will captivate you and leave you longing for more. Make it a point to fully engage with this video until the final frame, and express your gratitude with a like, for the story that unfolds is sure to enchant your senses in the most fascinating manner. Your support is invaluable. A mere touch of that like button has the power to kindle a flame of connection between us. What I am about to reveal is not a tale of triumph. It is an admission of a mistake that has lingered within me, burdened by years of yearning and sorrow. This tale unfolds the depths of an emotional battle, a pivotal moment that transformed my existence, and a profound lesson that remains etched in my heart to this very day. Even as I strive to push it away, it has intricately entwined itself within the essence of who I am. Today, I unveil my truth, not seeking forgiveness, but confronting it directly to free myself from the burdens that have shadowed my soul for far too long. This story begins at the age of 18. On an evening rich with fate, seated in my room, I became aware of the lively chatter emanating from my father's quarters. My thoughts wandering far beyond the confines of my surroundings. The door remained resolutely closed, but the murmurs from the other side seeped through the gaps, taunting my determination and sparking an illicit intrigue deep inside me. As the night deepened, the whispers of the world around me grew more distinct, stirring a yearning within me to unveil the source of the intrigue lurking in the shadows. Driven by an insatiable curiosity, I ventured down the hallway, grappling with the tumult of my emotions. As I stood before my father's door, a thrilling rush surged within me, igniting a blend of anticipation and longing. My heart racing and excitement coursing through my veins. With a heart full of courage, I carefully turned the doorknob and eased the door open, just enough to catch a fleeting glimpse inside. The scene before me ensnared my senses, as my father and Isabel stood together, wrapped in a moment that was both tender and taboo. The words fell short of encapsulating its true essence. Each detail remained vivid in my mind, marked by a fervor that both exhilarated and tormented me. In that instant, an unforeseen feeling stirred within me, a mixture of timidity and curiosity that was equally exhilarating and taboo. Time drifted by as I remained in that moment, and when I eventually returned to my room, a profound weariness washed over me. As I lay back on my bed, my eyes wandered to the ceiling, where the enchanting vision of Isabel twirled gracefully in my mind. I lay awake, my mind a tempest in the stillness of the night, slumber slipping away like an unattainable longing. Then bold and fearless ideas started to dance in my mind. In the hushed recesses of my heart, I yearned to approach Isabel, the captivating woman I had only ever dared to behold from a distance. Isabel, my father's new wife, brought a wave of unfamiliar emotions that I struggled to understand at that age. Her presence changed the dynamics in our home in a way I couldn't quite process, reshaping the very essence of my home. After my mother left, taking my little sister along, it was merely 3 months before Dad brought Isabel into our lives. Whispers danced through the air as the neighbors speculated, their eyes narrowing with curiosity, convinced that Isabel had woven her destiny with Dad's for the charm of his wealth. The murmurs that surrounded me bore no significance in my soul. The instant Isabel stepped into our abode, an emotional transformation enveloped me, one that I found difficult to comprehend. Never did I imagine myself caught in this captivating storm of emotions. I endeavored to lose myself in my studies, but each time I tried, the enchanting vision of Isabel wove its way into my mind, holding my focus in an irresistible grip. I remembered her stunning beauty, the soft pink dress that graced her that morning, and the gentle manner in which she wiped the sweat from my forehead. Each time her soft gaze and tender smile flitted through my thoughts. An exhilarating rush surged within me. With a gentle sigh, I set my books aside and yielded to the comforting embrace of the bed, engulfed by the complex tapestry of my feelings. In search of a reprieve from the burden of my swirling thoughts, I grasped my phone and lost myself in a game. However, the soft murmurs emanating from my father's room soon resurfaced. Testing my determination, I wrapped the blanket snugly around myself, trying to silence the murmurs of my thoughts. But it was in vain. My curiosity enveloped me, urging me to stand and embark on a journey. Still, a fragment of my being wrestled with the urge to hold back. Finally, the burden of my desire grew too heavy to bear. With a soft exhale, I eased out of my room and stepped into the shadowy corridor. Each step toward Dad's and Isabel's room was laden with tension, a quiet battle against the seductive pull of the forbidden. As I neared the door, an exhilarating sensation surged within me, my hands quivering just a touch as I twisted the knob with careful deliberation. With a soft creak, the door swung open, casting a narrow beam of light that illuminated Isabel, her figure cloaked in shadows, stirring a deep sense of yearning and curiosity. Her presence was captivating, and I found myself wrestling with a tumult of emotions. My heart raced, fueled by an exhilarating rush. My breath quickened, a thrilling surge flowing through my veins. As my fingers grazed the doorknob, a gentle sound emerged, reverberating the tension that hung in the air. Isabel cast a fleeting glance my way, and in that instant, the air thickened with the gravity of a conversation left unsaid. She stayed quiet, immersed in her motions, as if each gesture was a clandestine ballet intended only for my gaze. Frozen in time, I discovered that I could not move. Still, I discovered that I could not tear my gaze away. As I slipped away, I glided silently through the shadows, a wave of guilt enveloping me like a delicate veil, as though I were an intruder in the very core of my own refuge. As I lay back on my bed, my thoughts drifted through the intricate maze of feelings ignited by what I had seen. What feeling welled up inside me? Might it have been a rush of ecstasy, a twinge of apprehension, or possibly something far more illicit? My thoughts twirled in an enchanting ballet until, finally, I yielded to the warm embrace of sleep. The next morning, soft golden rays of sunlight streamed through the curtains, tenderly awakening me from my sleep. With a weighty heart, I eased myself from the comforting embrace of the sheets, the echoes of the previous night swirling enticingly in my thoughts. As I made my way down the stairs, there she stood, Isabel, as radiant as ever, her eyes sparkling with a playful glimmer as they met mine. "What weighs upon your heart? Do you find yourself still wandering through the land of dreams?" she asked, her voice tinged with an enticing curiosity. I quickly turned my gaze away from her. Indeed, I find myself drifting into a gentle haze of drowsiness, spending the night lost in the depths of my studies, the hours slipping away like whispered secrets in the dark. I led you astray. Her smile hung in the air, a subtle beckoning, but she opted to allow the conversation to fade into quietude. It felt as though she could perceive the tumultuous thoughts dancing within my mind, transcending the simple boundaries of homework. I quickly devised a rationale to shift the focus elsewhere. "Has father left us?" I asked. "Truly, he vanished with the first light of day." Her reply was gentle. I climbed the staircase. A thrill of expectation surged within me as I grabbed my bag, poised to set forth on yet another day at school. I rushed to my room, yearning to escape the piercing intensity of Isabel's gaze. It seemed I was not merely avoiding her presence, but also the profound recesses of my own soul. Every meeting with her ignited a fire within me, leaving me gasping and longing for the next moment. That morning, I sought to banish the persistent thoughts swirling in my mind, aiming to fully engage in my studies. Isabel found herself in solitude, but as I crossed the threshold that afternoon, an alluring aura of her presence wrapped itself around me. As I crossed the threshold, her voice wrapped around me, a comforting cocoon that felt like home. "Please, go change and join me for dinner," she whispered, a playful glint in her eyes. I acquiesced, morphed, and made my way down the stairs, Isabel perched elegantly at the table, her delicate new outfit enhancing her allure, captivating all with an enchanting charm. As I nestled into my seat, her voice floated to my ears, a gentle whisper intended solely for her own ears, yet it hung in the atmosphere, teasingly near. The warmth of the day enveloped us in a steamy hug, kindling a flicker of longing in the atmosphere. My aunt undertook but a few tasks, yet she was completely soaked in sweat. As I raised my eyes, our gazes intertwined, and in that brief moment, everything else around us vanished. I turned my eyes away, striving to lose myself in my food, but her captivating presence was simply too compelling to ignore. Her form-fitting dress highlighted her delicate waist, and I was entranced by the charm of her porcelain skin. I rushed through my meal, pretending to be weary as I murmured that a nap beckoned me. But beneath the surface, I was anxious that my eyes would reveal my true feelings in her company. In the stillness of the night, I found myself wide awake, my thoughts swirling around Isabel, stubbornly resisting the embrace of sleep. As the clock struck 3, I emerged from my sanctuary and made my way down the stairs, my eyes landing on Isabel, her silhouette elegantly gliding on the treadmill, a captivating blend of strength and beauty. The vista was completely captivating. Her athletic wear clung to her figure, accentuating the captivating curves of her physique. She moved through the world with an undeniable assurance that commanded attention. I stood still, entranced by her presence from a distance, my heart racing with a heady blend of yearning and desire. Isabel then turned, her smile a captivating invitation that hung in the atmosphere. "What is it that holds your attention, Cassius?" she asked, her voice tinged with an enticing intrigue. Captivated by the delicate beauty of the bonsai tree in the garden, I marveled at its intricate branches, which seemed to whisper secrets of nature's artistry. My words tripped over themselves. Her smile was soft, but the glint in her eyes suggested an understanding that pierced through my facade. "Indeed, my dear aunt, please proceed with your elegant gestures. I intend to lose myself in a book under the vast expanse of the sky," allowing the soft breeze to whisk me away into a realm of peace. I rushed out of the room, yearning for solace in the garden, eager to escape the piercing intensity of Isabel's stare. Seated upon the frigid stone bench, I discovered my mind wandering far beyond the confines of the book resting in front of me. Through the glass door, I couldn't help but steal glances, utterly captivated by Isabel as she moved with grace, immersed in her own realm of effort. This intoxicating web offers no escape. I sensed myself sinking deeper into the abyss of longing, yet I remained unable to withstand the allure. That evening, dinner progressed in its usual cadence, but a palpable sense of anticipation filled the air as Isabel revealed a bottle of wine. An illicit pleasure my father had perpetually shielded from my grasp. With a knowing smile dancing on her lips, she poured 2 glasses and handed one to him. "This is yours," she whispered, the atmosphere heavy with unvoiced longings. "As your father steps out for the evening, allow the ambiance to transform into one of comfort and closeness. You find yourself at a juncture in life where the lines of innocence blur, and the call for more profound connections grows ever stronger. You deserve to embrace your desires fully." My heart pounded, ensnared in a tangle of doubt, yet I bared my soul. I have yet to experience the captivating charm of inebriation. Isabel looked at me with a knowing smile, her eyes warm and brimming with unspoken promises. "All will be well. A modest indulgence can prove to be remarkably alluring. I will keep this secret under tight wraps." With a bold heart, I raised my glass to hers, an unspoken vow hanging in the atmosphere that surrounded us. Once again, her dress ensnared my attention, igniting a flutter in my heart. I relished the taste, the captivating fusion of sweetness and spice sparking a delightful excitement within me. Gradually, I discovered myself yielding to temptation, oblivious to the profound abyss into which I was descending. Following dinner, a sudden wave of dizziness enveloped me, rendering me unsteady and exposed. I climbed the stairs, sensing her presence hover just behind me, a captivating shadow that awakened something illicit within. Upon stepping into my room, an overwhelming tide of fatigue enveloped me, and I collapsed onto the bed, yielding to the gentle caress of the sheets. Isabel entered the room, carefully closing the door with a quiet click that echoed in the stillness. She entered the room quietly to check if I was all right, her expression one of concern. I was overwhelmed and unsure how to respond, a delicate touch that hung in the atmosphere surrounding us. "You look dizzy. Are you all right?" she asked. A hint of concern in her voice? She asked, her voice a soft murmur, imbued with a captivating closeness. As she approached, the fog of inebriation dulled my perceptions, and I became entranced by the depth of her eyes. Her beauty emanated an irresistible charm that captivated all who beheld it. I tripped over my own words. "Dearest aunt, your beauty is undeniably enchanting." Isabel's smile danced across her lips, yet it only served to deepen the fog of my confusion. She leaned in, her voice barely above a whisper. "Do you see me differently now?" Be it a delicate gesture or the silent dialogue of my eyes. She opted not to wait for an answer. The moment felt confusing and overwhelming, and I didn't know how to interpret her intentions or my feelings. Uncertainty wrapped around me, yet the experience was exhilarating, as though I had wandered into a forbidden dream, both enchanting and eerie in equal parts. As the final whispers of our meeting dissipated, I sank into the bed, wrapped in a fog of euphoric bewilderment. The alcohol slipped away from my awareness, but the shock remained, a tantalizing echo of the moment's illicit charm. I looked at Isabel, my voice trembling with unexpressed longings. "I trust that we can progress and set aside what has come before." Her eyes locked onto mine, calm yet brimming with a silent fervor. "Have no fear, your secret remains secure in my trust. This evening, your performance was nothing short of mesmerizing. I was captivated by it." Her words cut through the depths of my heart, leaving behind a haunting ache that was as beautiful as it was taboo. The night wrapped around me in a restless fog, my thoughts swirling in a tempest that held sleep at arm's length. I had ventured beyond the boundaries with my father. In the days that ensued, I discovered a deep longing to create space between myself and Isabel. Yet the allure of her presence remained inescapable. I devised excuses to escape the confines of home, setting out for school in the early hours or lingering in the twilight until darkness enveloped me. Each time I returned home, the intensity of Isabel's gaze met mine, a wordless recognition of the secret connection we shared. Her kindness wrapped around me, her voice a gentle tune, yet it seemed like a fragile chain constricting my heart. As shadows cloaked the room and I settled beneath the sheets, a profound wave of guilt surges through me. Each look at my father ignited a turmoil inside me, as if I were violating something holy. Yet, the more I struggled to banish her from my mind, the more Isabel wove herself into the very fabric of my being. I despised the shadows lurking within my own heart for it, yet she had intricately entwined herself into the essence of my existence. As the moment faded, a subtle tension hung in the atmosphere. With unwavering commitment, I immersed myself in my studies, and eventually, I stepped beyond the cozy confines of home to embrace the captivating experience of college life. It felt as though I had escaped the lingering specters of my history. As I readied myself to leave, my father and Isabel lingered nearby, their eyes laden with unvoiced feelings. Father wrapped me in a comforting hug, while Isabel shared a knowing smile, her eyes communicating unexpressed feelings that hung in the atmosphere around us. As the train slipped away into the horizon, I turned for one last look, capturing a fleeting moment of Isabel, her eyes locked onto mine, steadfast until I disappeared from her sight. A weight softly lifted, creating an aura of buoyancy in its aftermath. A moment of reprieve had graced me, a brief escape from the shackles of my reality. During my time in college, I set forth on an exciting new adventure. I cultivated relationships, delved into a myriad of clubs, and discovered myself caught in a tender romance with an enchanting girl from my class. Nevertheless, in spite of my endeavors, the echoes of yesteryears persisted, wrapping themselves around my heart in a manner that was both eerie and alluring. Whenever I came across a silhouette that brought to mind Isabel or heard a faint murmur that mirrored her voice, an intense yearning welled up inside me. In that moment, I realized I was unable to share my thoughts with anyone, not even with the person I cherished most deeply. It was a mark that would remain with me forever. Years later, I found myself traversing the stage, clad in cap and gown, entering a realm of stability with a bright career ahead, all while savoring the excitement of engagement. I thought I had buried the past. But a call from my father awakened something profound within me. Isabel departed from our lives without warning, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a tapestry of memories to ponder. Her departure locked our secret in the depths of darkness, but it also etched a void within me, as though a fragment of my very essence had vanished with her. Her location lingered as an alluring enigma, cloaked in murmurs and desire. Father seemed engulfed in his own grief, unaware of the concealed truth that lay just out of sight. As the years passed, I became woven into the fabric of marriage, welcoming both the delights and intricacies of a family that had become my own. I strove to embody the ideals of a dedicated husband and father. Yet occasionally, the haunting presence of Isabel would wrap around my mind, igniting a storm of feelings deep within. In the depths of my mind, I wandered through reflections of her absence, contemplating whether she had unearthed happiness in her new existence, and if, in the stillness of her thoughts, I ever lingered there. One fateful day, while I was organizing the house, I came across a letter from Isabel, its existence igniting a blend of nostalgia and yearning within me. In the letter she crafted, "Cassius, I acknowledge that what we experienced was taboo, yet I have never harbored a single regret for the intensity of my love for you. I left not in contempt, but from a profound wish for you to welcome a life filled with joy. Free from the weight of the past, embrace life in its entirety, and if my memory ever flits through your thoughts, know that your happiness was always my greatest wish." As I took in those words, a torrent of emotion washed over me, and I was powerless to hold back the tears that streamed down my face. Isabel set forth to rescue me, but in her absence, a lingering ache settled within, destined to be forever etched in my memory. She departed in silence, and even in her absence, the teachings of that period lingered within me. That was the moment my story with Isabel came to its poignant end. Without the balm of forgiveness and burdened by relentless constraints, one encounters the poignant remnants of love's teachings, the marks of past errors, and the silent verses that hover in the darkness, alluring yet off limits. Isabel has left, but the spirit of her presence remains, woven into the very fabric of my heart and mind. As I look back, I recognize that life is replete with challenges and lessons. At times, we must face uncomfortable truths to progress onward. It is often in our missteps that we reveal the deepest truths. Understanding that not every passion deserves pursuit, and that certain connections, while alluring, ultimately leave their imprint, I discovered a significant truth. Choices made in transient moments of vulnerability can shape the very essence of a life. Regardless of the intricacies of our feelings, it is essential to honor boundaries and make choices that reflect our values. I traded my peace and my connection with my father for a fleeting, exhilarating moment that remained hidden in the depths of longing. The burden of my remorse stretched far beyond my own soul, casting a shadow of ruin that affected the lives of those I cherished. This burden is mine to carry forever, and I desire no one else to walk the same road of errors. My advice is clear and direct. Treasure and protect the deep bonds that intertwine within the fabric of your life. Beware the tempting pull of fleeting cravings that might jeopardize the connection you hold dear. Life reveals itself through countless challenges and uncertainties, but it is within the embrace of discipline and understanding that we discover the genuine journey toward elevation. Should you ever find yourself caught in such a situation, it would be prudent to seek a way out before the opportunity fades, leaving you captivated by its charm. As you venture deeper into the shadows, the stakes elevate, weaving together longing with the excitement of the illicit. In moments when vulnerability envelops you, turn to a trusted confidant, a person whose mere presence encourages you to unveil your innermost thoughts and explore the profound layers of your feelings. Protect your heart from the tempting embrace of illicit emotions. Each decision we embrace holds significance, and at times, the chance to rectify our errors eludes us. Cherish the moments that resonate within you. Set boundaries that safeguard your spirit, and always remember that true happiness springs from serenity, not from the complexities of grief and yearning.